Welcome to the Security Brief. Each episode, we dive into the latest security articles and trends, breaking down complex topics into the clear, actionable advice you need to stay protected. Today, we're getting into a really common question for business owners, choosing the right security camera system.
So, this is the big one, right? IP or analog? It's a decision that really impacts your budget, your day-to-day operations, and frankly, your peace of mind. Our goal here is to cut through the noise and give you the clarity you need to make a smart investment. All right, let's dive in.
Here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by making sure we're on the same page about these two technologies. Then, we'll get into the good stuff, the advantages of IP and why analog is still hanging around. We'll talk money, not just upfront cost, but long-term value. And we'll wrap it all up with a checklist and a final recommendation for you.
Okay, first things first. Before we can compare them, we need to know what we're actually talking about.
Think of it like this. On the left, you've got analog. This is the old-school, reliable workhorse. The cameras send video over a coaxial cable, just like your old TV antenna, straight to a recording box called a DVR. Simple. On the right, you have IP cameras. Now these are basically tiny computers. Each one has its own address on your network, just like your laptop or phone.
So, now that we get that basic difference, one is a direct wire, the other is a smart device on a network, let's explore why that network approach gives IP systems such a huge edge and why so many businesses are jumping on board. The first thing you'll notice, and it is a huge one, is the image quality. We're not talking a little better, we're talking a massive leap in clarity. It's night and day.
And this chart just lays it all out there. Your old analog system, maybe half a megapixel. A modern IP camera can easily hit 8 megapixels or even more. So what does that mean in the real world? Well, it's the difference between seeing a blurry shape and being able to clearly identify a face or read a license plate. It's the details that actually matter when something happens.
But it's not just about pretty pictures. This is where IP systems become a total game changer. They're not just passively recording, they're actively working for you. They can detect motion and ping your phone, use AI to spot a specific face, or even count customers. This is active security intelligence, something analog just can't do. And because they live on your network, you get incredible flexibility. You can securely check in on your business from your phone while you're on vacation or from a laptop across the country. Total freedom.
Now you might think more tech means a more complicated install, but nope. Thanks to a cool technology called Power over Ethernet, or PoE, you just run a single cable to each camera. That one cable does power and data. It makes the whole setup cleaner and, more importantly, makes it way easier to add more cameras later on.
Okay, I know it sounds like I'm all in on IP, but let's not write off analog just yet. Not at all. There are some really good reasons why this reliable workhorse is still a solid choice for some people.
So where does analog still win? Well, if your number one concern is a low upfront cost and you just want something dead simple, plug it in and it works, analog is fantastic. Especially if you have old coaxial cables already in the walls that you can reuse. That's a huge plus.
But, and this is a big but, that simplicity comes with some pretty serious trade-offs. You're stuck with the number of channels on your recorder. The image quality will never be as good. You miss out on all that cool AI stuff. And the video feed often isn't encrypted, which, could be a security issue itself.
Which brings us to the big one for any business owner, the budget. It's so tempting to just look at that initial price, but to make a smart decision, you really have to think about the total value over time.
At first glance, analog almost always looks cheaper, and it is, upfront. But that's just chapter one of the story. When you start thinking about the future, like adding more cameras or dealing with maintenance, those IP systems often end up being the more cost-effective choice in the long run.
In fact, if you run the numbers, there's a kind of tipping point. Once you get to a system with around 12 to 16 cameras, the easier expansion and lower upkeep of an IP system can actually make it the cheaper option over 5 years. Pretty interesting, right?
So, with all that information swirling around, how do you actually decide what's right for your business? Well, we put together a simple checklist to help you figure it out. Just look at this list. If you find yourself nodding along thinking, yep, I need that, like if you absolutely need clear video, you want those smart alerts, and you think you might expand someday, well, an IP system is almost definitely the way to go.
On the flip side, if you're looking at this list and thinking, that's me. If the budget is tight right now, you just need basic local recording, and you like the idea of it being totally offline, then analog is still a very solid, reliable choice.
Okay, let's bring it all home. What's our final verdict?
what's the expert take for businesses looking at this in 2025?
The consensus is pretty clear. With the costs of IP technology dropping and the features becoming so powerful, it just delivers more bang for your buck and a better return on investment for the vast majority of businesses out there today.
And hey, remember, this doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing decision. You don't have to rip everything out. Hybrid systems are a thing. They let you start adding awesome new IP cameras to your system while still using your older analog ones. It's a great way to upgrade smoothly.
So, we'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your security system built to be ready for the future, or is it just watching the past? The key is to choose a system that solves your problems today, but also gives you the room to grow and adapt for tomorrow. Thank you for watching this episode of The Security Brief. If you found this episode helpful, please like and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. And if you have a moment, leave a comment below. It really helps other business owners find the show. We'll see you on the next episode.